But we are going to start, gents, with Manchester United. Great result for them last night, 4-0 against Real Sociedad, and 2 goals for Bruno Fernandes. His manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was delighted with the midfielder's performance.
He always wants to do the next thing correctly, and he wants to do the next thing at the best of his ability, and that's a very good attribute and quality to have, that you never rest on your laurels. If he scores 2, he wants 3. If he has an assist, he wants another one. He drives everyone on. Of course, sometimes he drives too much and he wants to do too much. I thought tonight he played his position really well. He were in the spaces we wanted him, and you can see how efficient he is.
Yeah, efficient is one of the words we could use, guys, to describe Bruno Fernandes. I mean, Dirk, I'll start with you, and great to have you on the show. But I mean, how good a signing has Bruno Fernandes been for Manchester United?
Well, he's an amazing signing, and he's performing so well. For me, he's one of the best signings for Manchester United in the last couple of years. And at one point, you think, where is it going to stop? But he's continuing to perform. And, we've been talking about leaders in the United squad, but he's definitely, for me, an attacking leader. And it's unbelievable how he's performing. So even I'm a Liverpool man, I'm enjoying his style of football, of course.
Yeah, well, that says everything, doesn't it? As a Liverpool man enjoying watching a Manchester United player play football, sums up just how good he is. And yeah. And Kev, I mean, not just Fernandes, but I mean, I suppose we've got to give a bit of praise to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left the club, I mean, it's been a strange transition in many ways. But do you think they slowly getting back to sort of the club they once were under Ole this season?
I think Ole has a plan, and Fernandes is a key part of that plan. You know, there's been a bit of turmoil. They've had a few managers, etc. But I think Ole coming in has settled the team down, settled the club down a little bit. I know there was rocky times under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, especially last season. But I think now you're starting to see things move, and the progress of the squad start to push forward, and you're seeing some really good performances from Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, you know, if they could add a couple of pieces to that squad, I think they will be there or thereabouts to challenge. Look where they are in the league right now. You know, they're surprising a lot of people. So I think it's definitely going in the right direction for Ole and Manchester United.
You say add a couple of pieces, Dirk. I mean, one signing that Manchester United fans would have been hoping to hit the ground running was Donny Van De Beek, and I guess unfortunately for him, the previous big signing before him was Bruno Fernandes, who's done so well. But what do you think about Van De Beek? Does everyone just need to give him a bit of time to get used to English football?
Yeah, no, I think nowadays the step from the Eredivisie to the Premier League is even a bigger step. When I was going to the Premier League from the Eredivisie, we see the same with Ziyech. So we need to give the players a little bit of time. But I think Donny has been very unfortunate, because there are no better players than Fernandes at the moment in the world, and he's playing on his position. So that makes it very tough for him. I think Donny Van De Beek have shown in the Champions League last year how good of a player he is. So his time will come, and I was very. Yeah, it was disappointing that he's injured now, because Pogba is injured. There is some space in the midfield, and I was hoping for him that he get a chance to show himself off. But you have to keep being patient. And what I said to make the step from the Eredivisie to the Premier League is a very huge one, and not only. Yeah, we don't only see it with players from Holland moving to the Premier League, but probably we're talking later about Thiago. You see how difficult it is for him as well.
Yeah, it's a great point, isn't it, that with Thiago, and also the fact that Pogba is out and Van de Beek would be hoping to play week in, week out. So an unfortunate injury timing-wise for him. Kev, I would ask you about Marcus Rashford as well. He's had a slightly inconsistent season by his high standards, but on the score sheet last night, you know what it's like as a striker. Getting goals is just sometimes what you need to turn things around, isn't it?
Yeah, you do need to score goals, and I think Marcus Rashford is pretty much a streaky scorer. When he starts getting hot, he gets really hot, and he scores in bunches. And I think he has to be a little bit more consistent, obviously, moving forward if Manchester United are going to maintain where they are. But I think he adds a lot to this Manchester United team as well. Not only does he score, he assists, he causes havoc with his speed and his running in behind teams. So I just think, they're getting goals from a lot of positions right now. And Marcus Rashford being on the score sheet is another big plus point for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
You look at the table, Dirk. Now, Manchester United, the second, but they're a long way behind Manchester City, 10 points. What would be the priority for Solskjaer, do you think? Just making sure they stay in that top four and qualify for the Champions League, or do they need to attack a trophy like the Europa League to have a successful season?
Well, first of all, I think Solskjaer is a little bit disappointed about the way United has dropped their points. Because if you look when they play to the bigger teams like Manchester City or United or Arsenal, they had some quite good performance. But in the last couple of weeks, they dropped points against the bottom teams. Against Sheffield, they got beat. They had a draw against West Brom. And they managed to give away a clear win against Everton in the dying seconds of the game. So if you count that point, that's 7 extra points, and they would be right up there with Manchester City. So we just talked about the leader of the team, that's Fernandes. It's in an attacking way, but they don't have really a leader in the defense, just a guy who says, okay, today we close the door, we get the points, and we go to the next game. And they struggled a bit with that. So, they challenging for many trophies, but to win silverware, you need something more. And I just think that's the missing piece of the puzzle for Solskjaer. So we'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah, it's so true that, Kevin, isn't it? I mean, your centre-backs are so important if you're going to win the league. You look at how big an impact Virgil van Dijk had for Liverpool last season. This season, John Stones and Diaz for Manchester City have been incredible. Think about Company for City going a bit further back. Looking at Harry Maguire, and it was Eric Bailly played alongside him last night. Does Maguire need someone, a more regular partner in there to sort of really get the best out of that back four, do you think, Kev?
Yeah, I mentioned about key pieces, and if they could put a couple of pieces in their team, I think centre back is the most important position. And Lindelof at times plays and Bailly plays, but I think you need somebody there regular. You need somebody there who is right beside Harry Maguire for this team to flourish. Somebody who takes pride in his defending and makes sure, Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw, etc. When they get ahead in games and they get to the latter stages of matches, you don't go, you stay beside me. And as Dirk quite rightly said, we get across the line and then you move on to the next game. I think that's important. I think Manchester United play a bit cavalier at times, but when you're winning games, you've got to get over the line, and centre-back is a key spot.
Well, I think they're doing quite well in defense. Solskjaer has managed to have a very good shape in the team. They're not conceding many goals, but you're right that they need a good extra defender. But also, what's very important nowadays, you not only need a good defender, but you also need somebody with pace, and that's what's missing. What I'm missing in the Manchester United team at the moment in the defense, in the central defense, somebody who has the pace like Virgil van Dijk, and that can be a missing key for United at the moment, in my opinion.
Yeah,
because when United is playing their games like yesterday, they can sit back, they can play on the counter attack with a lot of space with Rashford. They are very good in that playing style, but they will also have to manage to get the wins against teams like West Brom and Sheffield United, teams who are sitting back, who will play defensively. So they need something more to the team to really get some silverware, in my opinion.
Yeah, a bit of pace in the back four. It makes sense, doesn't it, Kevin? And behind the back four as well, intriguing situation with the goalkeeper, because you've got David De Gea, who's been such a good goalkeeper for such a long time for Manchester United, but Dean Henderson in goal last night, clean sheet, and he's got aspirations to get into the England team, and with the Euros coming up, was brilliant at Sheffield United last season. He's back at Manchester United, but not playing regularly. What do you think Ollie does with the goalkeeping situation, Kev?
I think it's a great problem to have for Ollie. Obviously, De Gea is his number one, but Henderson is his 1B, I suppose, because the season he had at Sheffield United last season was fantastic. Obviously, he was a Manchester United player, went back from his loan spell, and they decided to keep him. So they want to give him minutes, and he's not really put a foot wrong, has he? So he's playing in the Europa League. He's a Premiership-ready goalkeeper. So I'm not sure what's going to be happening with De Gea's contract, etc. But Dean Henderson is ready. He's ready-made to go in there and be the number one. So if De Gea makes any slips, then Henderson's going to probably take that jersey.